Hello, welcome to Crescent Range Studio. I'm going to show you a 3D print that I've been working on. So this is a double blast gate splitter, and it is designed for the Cen-Tec hose. So I recently got one of these Cen-Tec hoses because it seems quite useful in the studio to be able to swap out different tools without having to change things around. And I've got one hooked up to my DeWalt sander and another one to my Win track saw, wherever that is. But this is a nice hose. It's I think I got the 20 or 30 foot variety, so I can move around and catch a good bit of it, but it is not the most ideal thing to be working with when you have a ShopVac system in the rest of your shop. So I wanted the ability to be able to use a blast gate where this side feeds out to my dust deputy. So I've got a cyclone separator before my ShopVac that's doing the bulk of the removal. And so the output side of this splitter for the Centec and ShopVac, mine's actually a rigid, but just using ShopVac like Kleenex here, is the output is for a 2.5-inch wet dry vacuum is the, I guess, standard term. And then the input ports have labeled. So we've got one side says 2.5-inch ShopVac and the other side says Centec. So we can plug these together and everything has a nice strong friction fit. The Centec one goes over the top because that's kind of how the design wants to fit nicely. And then the 2.5-inch ShopVac hose, I'm just going to keep saying ShopVac, sorry. I know it's not the term, but it has been brand decided. So that's going inside, and then on the back side, it just outputs to the same output port that you've normally got, and then we've got these nice blast ports that can let you toggle between whichever input setting you want. I have not done a complete vacuum test on them to make sure that there is absolutely no loss from these gates, but whenever I have both gates closed, my ShopVac gets very angry with me, and I believe that it is doing a pretty good job of doing isolation. I think a little bit of lubricant, wax, grease, there we go. White lightning would do a good job. Vaseline would also be nice. So anything if you really want to get that extra little bit of tightness, but I'm not worried about that. The only thing that's using it to assemble is M4 screws. So these are 4 M4 machine screws. And then I just cut out on the back side this little piece of plywood so that I can mount it in my studio anywhere I've got some wood that I want to mount this to. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 part print. The files for this are on Thingiverse and Bamboo Maker World. So the files are there ready to print. And yeah, I hope you find this useful. If you've got a Centec and a ShopVac hose in your studio, I would love feedback on the design, if it's useful for you or not. And I posted the original Fusion files and the step files, so you should be able to mix it up if you need to. Enjoy.